Okay, and in terms of guns, because I think that's a pretty smooth transition from Kyle Rittenhouse, that
Yeah,
we can talk a little bit about that. Audio isn't working.
I think
Uh,
you're good.
okay, wait. If the audio isn't working for the stream, is it working
I
now?
I think he's just trolling you.
Okay, I hope so. If he's trolling me, then it's making me nervous. My Wi-Fi is very bad here, so I'm a little bit nervous of that happening. Uh,
I think we're good.
okay, all right, cool.
So what, like you said, you are pro Second Amendment to an extent. What's that extent?
Um, so, oh, it's low quality. Hold on, let me switch Wi-Fi before I talk about this. Mm, all right. Okay, you can hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if the stream is on right now.
Okay. It looks like the stream is on. Uh, okay, so, yeah, Second Amendment to an
It's not
extent.
for me. Oh, now it's good. Now it's good. We're good.
Okay, good. All right, as long as people can hear me now. Uh, yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to live stream very often from here. But yeah, anyway, so uh, I'm pro Second Amendment, and I believe that people have the right to own most guns, but I do think that they're already illegal automatic weapons. But I believe in them
Aren't
staying illegal.
automatic weapons banned though? They're
Yeah, that's
already
what I just
banned.
said. They're already illegal,
Oh,
but
okay.
there are some crazy nut jobs who think that they should be legalized. So I'm very anti that. And I believe that
I
there
don't.
should be.
No, they don't. That's not necessary. You don't need that.
Oh, you think that? Um.
Oh no, no, you don't need an automatic weapon. Nobody does.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's already banned, and I'm fine with that.
All right. I think the stream isn't working. Oh, this is so sad. Damn. Well, I'm recording this, so.
Now I can hear you now. Now I feel like you're back on the Wi-Fi that you keep cutting off.
Hmm. Okay. Let me go to the other one again. This is terrible. I'm gonna upload like a video of this afterwards, so hopefully that'll be better. Uh, but yeah. Whatchamacallit? Yeah, so I believe that semi-automatic weapons should have more stringent regulations, and I believe that we should have very extensive background checks before anyone is allowed to purchase any kind of gun, and that people should have to take training. So I don't know the exact number of hours people should take, but let's say like 10 hours of training um, by the government to make sure that you're not a danger to yourself, and then you should have to take a safety test at the end of the training to make sure that you know what you're doing. So I do
Hmm.
believe in all of those steps before you should be allowed to purchase a gun.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I had something in the background.
Okay, that's fine.
Um. So, like, in terms of um, what you call it, like regulations or whatever of
Hmm.
being able to purchase a gun, do you think there should be more regulations or like background checks? Because I do. You shouldn't be able to buy it if you have like mental problems that you can have that, like you misuse a
Hmm.
weapon or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. People who have gone to prison for violent offenses, and people who are determined to be like mentally unstable, and people who and people who like there should be an age limit, obviously, also. None of those people should be allowed to purchase a gun. There need to be extensive background checks to make sure that uh, these people don't have any kind of history in the state that they're purchasing the gun in, or in any other part of the country. And uh, and yeah, and I definitely believe that. I don't know if you heard me before, but I said that people should have to take 10 hours of gun training by the government before they're allowed to purchase a gun. Um,
Um,
and I believe
10
that they
hours
should have
seems
to
a
take a
bit too
test.
much, but
Well, this is the way I think about it, because I know one of the
I
arguments.
feel like yeah, you should be educated on tests. I don't know about 10 hours of gun training.
Well, one of the arguments that I know a lot of conservatives like to use is that it's like, well, if you just like restricted guns, people can just like use cars to kill people, and it's like, okay, but you have to take like 6 hours of training to drive a car with like a trained government, or I think, no, I guess you can have a private licensing thing, but they're licensed by the
Well, you don't
government.
even need to drive. If you're doing something illegal, anyways, you don't have to be legal to drive. You don't have to make it be legal to drive a car. Drive a car, but
Right. No, that's my point. Is like you have to take the training, and you have to have like, and there's a certain period of time during which you're allowed to drive the car, but you have to do it with somebody. And if you're doing it alone, that's illegal. And there are like other restrictions like that. So I very strongly believe in a lot of restrictions like that. Like guns should definitely be more heavily regulated. So
so
if
like, let me ask you, because you know Ben Shapiro, obviously. So he
mhm.
has a personal story when it comes to like the Second Amendment, like guns or whatever, and shootings, school shootings.
How do I raise my
He
bit
went
rate?
to like I think it was a middle school, like a Jewish middle school, uh,
Hmm.
and uh, he like a shooter drove by the high school looking to, or not the high school, the middle school to like shoot it up, but he noticed the guard at the front of the school probably with a gun. So the shooter drove to the next school that got shot up or something like that. I don't. I think that's the premise of this story, but he didn't go to. If there's like a good guy with the gun, I know you hear this. A good guy with the gun would stop a bad guy with the gun. A shooter wouldn't want to go in a place with the thought of that someone having to have a gun and the fear of being shot at back. They would want to go in and kill people, and if they wanted to die, they would kill themselves. But
Okay.
um, that's like
Um,
called gun-free zones. Gun-free zones actually encourage shootings because the the shooter knows that nobody there is probably going to have a gun to defend themselves. So I'm just going to go in and shoot people.
all right.
But if you know what I'm trying to get
Mm-hmm.
at least. Okay.
So for now, we have we have armed police officers in most schools, and I think that's it's really
Yeah.
shitty, and I really wish that we didn't need it. And I think that if we take,
But we do need it.
and for now we do need it, but I definitely think that we need to be taking steps to make that no longer necessary, because the fact that we need it is frankly ridiculous. And there are a lot of ways that we need to address that. And I know that the favorite conservative talking point is that we need better mental health, but then they won't support universal basic health care, or universal health care. Not, yeah, I combined UBI and health care. But yeah, like universal health care would help with people with mental problems, because right now, um, if you need to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist or anything, unless you're on Medicare, and even Medicare only limitedly covers it, it's very expensive to see a therapist, and that's kind of ridiculous. I definitely think that that should be free. If you need to see a mental health professional, then your ability to pay for that should not block, should not determine whether you actually do it or not.
Yeah.
S-
But that's why I support making sure they don't get guns to begin with.
right, yeah.
And
Um,
also, like, I know Democrats, like, Beto O'Rourke, he said it himself, I'm going to take your guns away. Taking guns away would not work. People would have guns either way, legal or illegal.
I mean,
And
to an extent, I don't know. Maybe you've already seen this. Have you seen that video that's like talking about what Australia did? Or was it
no,
Australia, or was it like New Zealand? I think it was Australia.
I don't know.
Australia in the 90s had, I believe it was a school shooting, but it might have just been like a mass shooting in a mall or something.
Yeah.
And um, so they just like had a gun buyback in like the early 2000s, and they confiscated 650,000 guns, and they have had like no mass shootings in the past like 18 years or something. Yeah,
I
murders and suicides plummeted, and there were just like no mass
That's
shootings anymore.
amazing, but I feel like if someone really wanted to shoot up a place, they would get a gun and they would do it.
I mean,
And
oh the
especially in America, America is a very different country.
oh yeah, for
Um,
sure. I'm not saying
there's a
that we should just
huge
have
illegal market and like black marketing. But yeah,
um
you agree. People should have a right to own. Most people should.
yeah, no, I do agree. I'm not saying that we should take away guns, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
that
I know. I'm just bringing up a point that like some Democrats, or not like a point, some
right.
something that Democrats want to do, just take away your guns.
There are some Democrats, but most Democrats don't. Joe Biden does not want to have
But
like
didn't he
an
say he wanted to
all-encompassing
put
gun
veto on top
buyback.
of the gun safety?
I mean, I can look this up. I'm pretty sure Joe Biden is not arguing
Yeah, I'm
for.
sure he won't touch with that. He won't like interfere in that aspect. But he wanted to put Beto on like that board or whatever.
Oh,
Beto is the one who
I could
said
have been
that.
wrong. Hold on. Uh, why is this website being weird? Joe Biden pushes for federal gun buyback program assault weapons ban. But is it a buyback of all guns? Um, da, 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 da. If you have an assault weapon, so he's for a buyback of assault weapons only, not just of all guns.
Couldn't a pistol be considered an assault weapon though?
Well,
If I'm
not if
not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure it's just not. Definition of assault weapon. Uh, I mean maybe like some pistols, but
Yeah, so drawing from federal and state law definitions, the term assault weapon refers primarily to semi-automatic rifles, pistols, and shotguns that are able to accept detachable magazines and possess one or more other features.
okay, I
So
don't have
it
a.
includes pistols, yeah. But
Yeah, so I mean some pistols that are semi-automatic. I don't really have a big problem with that. I think I don't have a super strong opinion on this.
and also, the AR-15 isn't even an assault weapon.
I mean if it's not an assault weapon,
It's
then
a very, very weak word, and I feel like you would.
sure. Okay, so you need to more clearly define it, but I'm sure he's like more. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm sure he's more clearly defined it than that. But yeah, assault weapon, I guess, is a relatively nebulous term. That could mean a few things. But in general, if you have a semi-automatic weapon that you can add like a extra. What is it called? You add like an extra feature to it that allows it to shoot basically the same way as an automatic weapon. That I know that's like a whole thing. I don't remember the name. An
Um,
extension that allows it to shoot
the
automatically.
oh my god, now you made me forget it.
The extension
A
that allows it
stock,
to
a
shoot
bump stock.
automatically.
Wait, is that what it's called?
A what?
A bump stock?
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Something, yeah.
So so when you have a semi-automatic weapon that can take a bump stock, you said, right?
Noah just said nearly all pistols are semi-automatic.
Okay, then make weapons that aren't semi-automatic, and that's what I'm okay with us having. Semi-automatic weapons are pretty dangerous. Uh, and I'm not necessarily for a ban of all
I mean, any
semi-automatic
gun is
weapons.
dangerous.
Hmm?
Any gun is dangerous.
Well, yeah, but a weapon that isn't semi-automatic, that is more difficult to reload and fire into a crowd with, is it's inherently way more difficult to commit a mass shooting with a gun like that. Um, so while I definitely think that it won't be 100% effective, a gun buyback, it helped a lot in Australia. Even they've had like zero mass shootings, I think, since the early 2000s or something.
And
Um,
that's really good.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane.
But I'm not saying that like correlation doesn't mean causation. I'm saying
I,
this is
I
America.
mean, fair enough. Yeah,
This is America.
you can't prove
Yeah.
you
You know
can't
how
one
much
million
of a big
percent
black market
prove.
there is with guns or whatever. There's gun. Yeah.
Wait, sorry. Say that one more time.
Like, you know that there's a huge black market with guns in America. So.
Yeah, sure, but that can be cracked down upon. Um, we can.
Do we crack down on drugs that way?
Well, no. So the difference between cracking down on drugs and cracking down on guns is that drugs are like a non-violent crime that that aren't hurting anyone, except for maybe the person who's using the drugs, obviously.